Lee to my wife about who the flowers were really for. I35M was recently diagnosed with depression and anxiety. It's been a challenging time for me as I've been trying to navigate these new realities while still managing my day-to-day responsibilities. I've been going to therapy once a week where I've been learning a lot about myself and how to cope with these feelings. My therapist has been great, giving me tools and techniques to help manage my symptoms, and I've been trying my best to implement everything I'm learning into my daily life. However, despite my efforts, I still have moments where depression just hits me out of nowhere, and it can be really tough to handle. My wife knows about my diagnosis and that I've been going to therapy regularly. I told her everything after my first few sessions, hoping it would help her understand what I'm going through. She listened and nodded, but beyond that, she doesn't really say much or ask if there's anything she can do to help. I'm not sure if she doesn't know how to approach it or if she just thinks it's something I need to handle on my own. Either way, her silence has been a bit tough for me. I know she cares, but sometimes I wish she would ask me how I'm doing or if there's anything she could do to make things a little easier for me. Just knowing she's there and wants to support me would mean a lot. One day, I was out at the store buying things for the household, just the usual groceries and essentials, when I found myself drawn to the flower section. I don't know what it was, but something about the vibrant colors really caught my eye. I stood there for a while, just staring at them. As I looked at the flowers, I realized that no one has ever bought me flowers before in my entire life. There's always been this notion that flowers are only for women, and I guess I've just never questioned it before. But standing there, I thought, why shouldn't I have flowers if I want them? Why do flowers have to be just for women? So, on a whim, I decided to buy myself some flowers. It felt a little strange at first, but also kind of liberating. When I got home, I took the flowers out of the wrapping, cut the stems, and put them in a vase right by my desk. I thought maybe having something beautiful and colorful near me might help lift my spirits and fight off some of the darkness that comes with my depression. I wasn't sure if it would work, but I figured it was worth a try. The bright blooms seemed to bring a little bit of joy into the room, and I liked having them there to look at whenever I needed a moment of calm. Later that evening, my wife came home. As soon as she saw the flowers, she smiled and said, "Thank you for the flowers. I wasn't expecting that from you." I was taken aback by her reaction. I hadn't bought the flowers for her, they were for me. But in that moment, I didn't know how to respond. I didn't want to explain that I had bought them for myself, partly because I was afraid she might think it was weird or not understand why I wanted flowers. So instead of telling her the truth, I just smiled back and said, "You're welcome." She seemed happy with that, and I didn't want to spoil the moment. Now, the flowers are still sitting next to me, but they're starting to wilt and die. I've been trying to keep them alive as long as I can, watering them and trimming the stems, but I think my efforts might be in vain. It's strange, I've never cared much for plants before, but I find myself wanting to hold on to these flowers for as long as possible. Maybe it's because they represent a small act of self-care, something I did purely for myself, and letting them go feels like letting go of that gesture. I'm not really sure if I had any specific end result in mind when I decided to share this story. I guess I just wanted to put it out there, to get it off my chest. If you've stayed with me until the end, thank you for listening. I'm sorry there isn't any big, exciting conclusion or a dramatic twist that will spark a deep discussion. Life isn't always like that. Sometimes it's just small, quiet moments that we carry with us. But I hope that after reading this, you're doing well and that you have an amazing day. Take care of yourself and remember that it's okay to do something nice for yourself, even if it's as simple as buying flowers.